Man, it's the T-Train Show. Y'all know what time it is, man. What up, T? What up? Hot Rod. What up? L-Train. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's the Three to Hard.
Welcome to another edition of Three the Hard Way. We're about to get into this Cleveland Browns, a little bit of Cavs, a little bit of college football playoffs. But before we do that, I got to introduce my fellas. Right now, as always, the influencer is in the house. Mr. Hot Rod, Rodney Young. What's the deal, Hot Rod?
What is going on, Three the Hard Way Nation? What's going on, fellas? This is your friendly neighborhood coach, and you know what I say. You may not like what I'm saying, but you will listen.
And the captain of our ship, the captain of Three the Hard Way, Mr. Terrence Austin. T, what's good, man?
What's going on, fellas, and what's going on, everyone out there in Three the Hard Way Nation? Let's get this ship underway. Let's get going. Let's go.
Let's get into it, man. Now listen, I think there are like three segments of the population when it comes to Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders. I think everybody kind of agrees with Shedeur Sanders is not playing at, if you were to categorize this, fellas, he's not playing at a great level, but I don't think he's playing at a bad level either. But I think a lot of people are kind of split on whether he's doing okay or not doing okay. I think for a rookie quarterback, he's doing okay. Can he improve on some things? Absolutely. But I'm starting to see enough from Shedeur that there is a lot of potential in that young man. But give me your thoughts. That's just one. That's 1/3 of Three the Hard Way giving his take. What do you guys think when you look at Shedeur, the Buffalo game, and maybe his body of work previously leading up to that game? What are your thoughts on Shedeur right now?
I'll begin with this. His last two games were against tough opponents, okay? You take the Bills, today, and then last week, who was it again? The Chicago Bears, okay? The team that's number one in takeaways. So getting back to today, okay, he didn't play too bad. Despite two interceptions, and both of them were on him, okay? Both of those picks were on him. But remember, again, this is a kid who wasn't really prepared well when he was, the third string behind Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. Again, like Rod said, he was throwing the trash cans and guys that are now driving the RTA bus in Cleveland, okay? Those were the guys that he was throwing to. So he wasn't really prepared, okay? He came in relief against Baltimore. What a team to come in, to relief against, the Baltimore Ravens, all right? But getting back to today, to the question at hand, today, he was 20 for 29, total of 157 yards, 2 picks. Now, one thing I did notice, the offensive line didn't play that bad today, okay?
No.
Matter of fact, they were pretty good. Now, early on, that one nice run that Junkins had, but that got called back for the holding, that killed us. But, they kept the momentum going. They kept it going. Let me give some of the pluses for today. Again, the O-line played pretty good. The kid Sanders that came in for relief, man, hey, he came out of nowhere and held it down. It was kind of like, hey, kid, here's your opportunity. Let's see what you can make of it. And he made real good of it, okay? Also, too, Schmidt, the kicker. The conditions in Cleveland today, now, it wasn't as cold today as it was last week. But, again, there was still a little wind, and he did well. Now, that one, kick, attempt that, fell through, that wasn't on him. That was the snapper and, the guy, catching the ball to, for Schmidt to kick it. Okay, so that was on them. But again, overall today, it was just, now the last two drives where Shedeur had an opportunity, to take us down and possibly win the game, it didn't come through. But again, he's a rookie, okay? He's a rookie playing against having chopped liver in front of him as our offensive line blocking for him. Again, the kid Sanders filled in at running back and did, pretty good. And I'll save, talking about Quinshawn, and his injury, devastating injury. Instead of this offseason being, building on what he did in his first season, it'll all be about rehab, which is different, rehabbing in the offseason versus trying to prepare and get better for the next season, okay? But to answer your question again, it was another tough day at the office. However, I wish, Shador would have, had it in him, those last 2 drives to, make something happen. But you're playing up against, maybe the best team in the AFC, those Buffalo Bills. So, they fought today. They fought hard, but, we were just outmatched against a better team. It was a tougher team, that opponent there. And then their fans invaded our stadium. They're just, 2.5 hours north on Interstate 90. So it wasn't hard for them to get there and, show up. But again, another tough day at the office, but I'm still okay with Shador. We have so many holes to fill on that team. So many holes to fill. I think we got our quarterback. Now, is he great? Is he, the franchise going forward? I ain't going to say that, but for right now, let's stick with him.
Yeah.
Can play this thing out.
Yep.
And in the draft, let's address some of those other areas that we need. So that's
Hot
my
Rod,
take.
what do you got? What do you got, Hot Rod?
So I always first will address both parties. Number one, you have the haters of Shador, and then you have the Shadurians that I now affectionately call them, that Shador could throw 7 interceptions and it's okay. Those are the Shadurians. I am in between. I want to see that young man succeed, but when he does things that's out of his character, I will critique and criticize him. That's just me. That's what we do here on 3 to Our Way. Now, in terms of today, I think that opening drive is Shador Sanders.
Yes.
That's what you're going to get.
I agree.
That opening drive to where he threw the touchdown to Harold Fannin and the way he methodically went down the field, and I know those first 10 to 12 plays are scripted. However, he had to make the decisions. He made the necessary decisions. He didn't rush. He was there. I'm seeing a steady progression of Shador in terms of his pocket presence. He took a sack today that normally he would have ran out of the back of the pocket and took a 24-yard loss. How ironic is it that Josh Allen did something uncharacteristic and lost 24 yards?
Yeah.
And there was almost a safety.
Safety. Oh, yeah.
Compared to what Shador did. Now, I'm going to give T a little pushback, Cap. I don't think the offensive line played that great in pass protection.
Okay.
Quinshawn, they got off in the run game, but KT Levinston was absolutely atrocious. There was a 4th down play that Shador did not even have time. Okay? Number 50, the backer who was playing a rush in, absolutely blew him up. Okay? I think the offensive line was decent in the run game today.
Okay.
I think in the pass game, they were still not that great. But Shador, he is slowly progressing. I can see the progression. I can see it. I know it's not moving as fast as everybody else wants to see it, but I see it. I see him being able to read. I'm seeing him now. I don't like the check down Charlies that he's doing. Okay, I know that's probably the only that check down is there, but I need to see the all 22 to see if everybody was covered.
Because he did a lot of that today.
Even the one when Junkins got hurt, when Shador turned, the linebacker was already breaking. Okay, he was all because that was his responsibility.
He was coming hard too. He was coming hard
to answer. And then that I heard Jay Trotter on WKNR this afternoon sound completely ignorant. And he said, well, Shador had an opportunity in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes to go to drive them down the field, and he didn't because he was running for his life.
Yeah.
When Garrett Bush says it, when these media dudes move the goalposts, how is Shador supposed to run a 2-minute offense when he's got people in his face and he's running for his life? Okay, I'm being completely honest. So, if you want to go by numbers, he outplayed Josh Allen today by the numbers.
He did.
Okay, by the numbers. So, I see a steady improvement. I think he's going to play better. I can't wait for some reason, I can't wait to see him play Pittsburgh. I don't know why, but I can't wait to see him play against Pittsburgh. I think he's going to get Pittsburgh fits. I'm calling that early.
Yeah, we got a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans that write in. You know who you are.
From the
You guys
412.
bombarding my emails with stuff. So I know they're waiting for that game too, High
Steeler
Rod.
Nation.
My whole evaluation of Shedeur is this. I think he's got a lot of things against him, and some of it is natural things. It's not like, all these conspiracies that I hear about Shedeur. I think, number one, he's a rookie going into one of the toughest professional leagues you can play in, playing the toughest position that you can play in. So there is a learning curve when it comes to that, and I think he's going through that. But for all intents and purposes, looking at that learning curve, I think he's doing a pretty solid job. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. There's room for improvement, but I think he's doing a pretty good, solid job. I don't think he's playing in the best system. Like, I don't
Right.
think that helps, with the Kevin Stefanski stuff. And, so I think that hurts him a little bit. I think his wide receiving core is not the best. So there are a lot of things that are going against him. But here's the thing about the NFL and what's going on with Shedeur Sanders is that, man, there are just no excuses. Like not the Minnesota Vikings, but the Cleveland Browns brass are really looking at him, and they're looking at Shedeur Sanders under a microscope. I don't want them. This is just me. I don't want them to I don't want them to draft another quarterback because me personally, with my eye, I don't think there's another answer out there. I think, at least for the short term, I think Shedeur Sanders is the answer for the Cleveland Browns. And I would just love, if all things were perfect and I could have my way and I could control the controllables, I would just say I would love to see Shedeur get a whole nother year. I would like to see him get an off season. I would like to see him get a training camp. I would like to see how the Cleveland Browns are going to use those draft picks that they have without drafting a quarterback. I want to see what they do in free agency. I just want to see what they do to bolster the skill around Shedeur Sanders to really get an assessment on what type of quarterback he is. I really don't see a viable option. If I'm wrong, fellas, let me know. Is there another option out there next year besides Shedeur that makes this team a whole lot better? I'm talking about a realistic option out there for the Cleveland Browns.
No, there isn't, L Train. And this week I heard somebody say something that was quite interesting, and I was going to text you guys. They said that the Browns need to call the Jets because, the Jets got a plethora of picks coming next year, okay?
Yep.
And they need to call and talk with them and wheel and deal because, again, we have so many holes on our offense. You can say, hey, we need to practically rebuild the offensive line, okay? And then we need help at wide receiver. Now, we're good with tight end. And, now with Quinshawn, we're good with him too, okay? We're good with him too. He just got to get healthy. But again, to answer your question, no, there's nobody out there in the college ranks, that'll be coming out next year that I'll say, hey, he'll be better than Shedeur. No, you're right. Give Shedeur a whole offseason to work with. I don't know who's coming back as head coach. We've kind of talked about that a little bit, but you're right. Give him a whole off season. But I think I would start with calling up the Jets again, who have a ton of, picks coming in next year. Maybe wheel and deal with them, and also try to work out where we can get some veterans, maybe from some other teams, to kind of help out a little bit. But no, to answer your question, no, let's stick with Shedeur, see what we got with him, with Watson as a backup and Dylan Gabriel. I'm okay with that quarterback room going forward. Shedeur, Gabriel, and Watson.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I would say.
And I'm gonna piggyback. I absolutely agree. At this point, you have 2 first-round picks. I know right now the shiny present out here
Yep.
is Fernando Mendoza.
Yep.
Okay, I know that's the shiny diamond out here that everybody wants to go get. But if you want to come from a number standpoint, let's say you draft Mendoza. It's going to take him at least 2 to 3 years to become whoever he's going to be. Whereas you have Shedeur right now, you have Gabriel right now, you have Deshaun Watson right now. You have 3 quarterbacks in your quarterback room, okay? You take those 2 first-round picks. You take one and either go get Tyson, the receiver out of Arizona State, or you go to Columbus and you get Carnell Tate. Now, what has that done? Now you have a number 1 receiver. you take Jerry Jeudy and you make him the number 2 or a slot. You have Isaiah Bond, who takes the top off of defenses with Jerry Jeudy and a Carnell Tate or a Tyson. You already have your tight end, okay, which is Harold Fannin Jr. You take Njoku and a pick, and you deal.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
for the offensive line, hear me out here. Here's what I would do. Everyone's saying they need to draft an entire offensive line. I only think they need to draft 3.
That was my next question.
Okay.
So here we go. I like what I see out of Luke Whippler at center. I take Batonio's going to retire. So I take Wyatt Teller, I sign him to a deal, and I move him from right guard to left guard. He's going to replace Batonio. I'm going to go into the draft. I'm going to get me a right guard. I'm going to get me 2 tackles and then some quality backups. Okay? Now my offensive line is put together. Okay? I'm going to bring back Bill Callahan. Okay? Because Callahan is out here now. His son was fired. So Callahan is out here. You bring back Bill Callahan, I don't care how you do it. Because when Bill Callahan was running the offensive line and he was the run game coordinator, that's when you saw Nick Chubb get off. That's when you saw that's when you seen all of the Browns running backs get off. Kareem Hunt, that's what I meant to say. Okay? So you bring Bill Callahan back. You build your offensive line through the draft because, believe it or not, Cap, the Browns have a plethora of picks.
Okay.
It's not just the 2 first rounders. They've got a lot of picks.
Okay.
If Andrew Berry is smart, don't go after the shiny diamond.
Okay.
You have a potential Bugatti in your garage. You just need to tune him up.
Tune it up.
Okay? You trying to go after Mercedes-Benz and you got a Bugatti. Go ahead and take that Bugatti, change the spark plugs, tune him up, give him an off season to learn the position, and you have a insurance you have an $80 million insurance policy by the name of Deshaun Watson. So if Shedeur flamed out, you still have a quality starting quarterback as a backup. And then at the end of the day, you have another backup in Dillon Gabriel, which I believe that's what he is a second or third string quarterback. That's what I believe he is. Quinshawn's going to come back. Dylan Sampson's going to be a good third down back. That's why I said when the Browns, they're doing what's called a soft rebuild.
Okay.
That's what I'm calling it.
Okay.
A soft rebuild, because they're not tearing it down to the studs. They're trying to slowly put some things together. Now, do I believe Bubba Ventrone needs to be fired? Do I still believe Kevin Stefanski needs to be fired?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I believe this team can be in contention in the next year if Andrew Berry or whoever comes in does it the right way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is why they got to get it right in the draft, because they are really tight in terms of money, salary cap flexibility. They will not have the opportunity to make any big splashes in terms of free agency. They have to hit on the draft. Like, they had a very good draft last year. I don't think anybody can debate that. They've got to come back.
Best in the game.
Absolutely. They've got to be able to come back with it this second draft and be able to fill some holes and be smart, be analytical about it, be collaborative about it, and make sure that they're not whiffing on any of these picks. I mean, because that is going to be key for the Cleveland Browns. Here's my worry, though, fellas. Here's my worry. I think that we're more than likely going to have a new head coach last year. How does that affect the draft? When you don't, they can't drag their feet on this head coaching thing. They have to, if they're going to get rid of Stefanski, they're going to have to get rid of him quickly. If they're going to keep him, they got to keep him. But I think everything has to be in place in terms of the philosophy, which direction they're going to go, so they can start to hit on certain draft picks or target certain draft picks that this football team needs. Like, how do you expect the whole coaching thing to affect the draft?
Yeah, that's tricky. It's like playing chess, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, and you're right. That the owner has to make up his mind and make up his mind real quick. Black Monday, you know, as they call it in the NFL, he needs to either get rid of Stefanski or on that day say, hey, we're going for it with them.
That's
that
right.
way they can start, you know, putting things in play, you know, leading up to the draft and some of the other things they need to do. But yeah, you're right. They cannot drag their feet on this thing. They can't. And if the owner knows right now what direction he's going in, which I think he does, okay, he's not a billionaire by mistake. Okay, he's a smart man. You know, he's got Flying J gas stations everywhere. So, hey, let it be known right away what you're going to do. If you're going to stick with the coach, hey, stick with him and then move forward. I want him gone. Most people want him gone. But then again, like I say, it's not my team, it's his team. I'm just an invested fan going all the way back to the 70s. But you're right. Something needs to be done quick, fast, and in a hurry. A decision.
So here's my scenarios, guys. And y'all and Three the Hard Way Nation may think coach is crazy. It won't be the first time. If Kevin Stefanski is relieved of his duties, I do not believe that Andrew Berry will be on the block. I think what will end up happening is Andrew Berry will replace DePodesta. I think they will move him up in the organization. I think they will replace him. Here's one scenario. I think Andrew Berry will have the call on who would be the next Browns general manager and coach. I think he would still be in the front office. That's one scenario. The second scenario is Kevin Stefanski becomes the general manager as Andrew Berry moves up. Okay, because Jimmy Haslam has said on a few occasions he actually feels bad for Kevin Stefanski because of some of the positions he's put him in. Okay? Now,
Yep.
I'm not saying, now, we could come to Black Friday, Cap, and all of a sudden, everybody gone. Clear out the entire organization.
And it needs to happen that fast. It needs to happen that fast.
But we're talking about
Black Monday.
Jimmy Haslam.
Haslam, yeah.
We're talking about Haslam, okay? The Timu Jerry Jones. This is who we talking about, okay? So there is a possibility, and I said this before, there is a possibility, Mary Kay Cabot talked about it, that you could possibly see Stefanski come back, okay? Now, I don't think from a PR standpoint that the Browns are willing to do that. I do think Jimmy still likes Andrew Berry. And so now that DePodesta is now on with the Colorado Rockies, there is a position open. So I think what he's going to do is he's going to pull Andrew Berry up, and Andrew Berry will be there. He'll still be able to make decisions. He'll make decisions on who's the next general manager.
Yep.
Because Andrew Berry, in his mind, has the culture that he wants to see. And so does Jimmy. So I think Kevin could be gone. We know Bubba Ventrone is gone. I'll make a bet. Bubba Ventrone is gone.
What you want to bet, Hot Rod? What you want to bet,
Let
Bubba Ventrone?
Let me tell you something. If Bubba Ventrone kept his job, I'd become a Steelers fan. That's how confident I know that Bubba Ventrone is gonna be fired.
That's blasphemy.
If Bubba Ventrone is not fired, you will see me walk around with a Mean Joe Green throwback jersey.
And I'll never say nothing to you again. I'll never speak to you again.
You'll be done. It'll go from 3 the hard way to 2 the fast way. So those are the things that I believe. I think Jimmy is going to let Stefanski go because the fans of Cleveland want him gone. But I don't think he's going to get rid of Andrew Berry because of this draft. Right. And he wants to give him this next draft to rebuild this football team.
Jamal from Euclid says to us, this is obviously a pro Shedeur Sanders show. Jamal from Euclid wants to know, at what point does Shedeur stop being the plan in Cleveland?
Well, again, give him a whole another season. Give him another season. Give him a good off season where it's known that he's the quarterback, that he's the number one going in. Give him a good off season, and we know the kid is willing to put in work. Get some pieces around him, okay? Rebuild that offensive line, or as Rod say, kind of tweak it. Improve it. Improve that offensive line. Get him a number one receiver because Jerry Jeudy is not a number one receiver. Get him a number one receiver. You know, I love to have Cardell Tate. I'd love to have him on the squad. Again, yeah, get some pieces around him and give him an off season and, you know, let him work with, you know, some of the experts in the building to improve on him. So, you know, to answer the young man's question, that's what you do. Give some pieces around him and give him a whole another season. Give him an off season.
Go ahead, Hot Rod. Go ahead, man.
So, Jamal, I appreciate your question, okay? But when you you sitting up here saying we pro Shedeur. Listen,
Jamal
we
probably
pro
cracking up.
Cleveland winning, bruh. We pro Cleveland winning. We want the
Yeah.
quarterback to win, okay? And and yes, we put Shedeur out there because he got drafted in the 5th round, even though he's a first-round talent. We know what happened in that. We ain't gonna get into that.
Jamal knows that too. Jamal knows that too.
Yeah, Jamal know that. And
He
so
knows that.
then you get him throwing the trash cans and water boys, okay, because you had the supercomputer called Dylan Gabriel, and then you had the old man Flacco, and then come on, okay? But here's the thing. I want to see Shedeur be successful because there's so many people who want to see him fall based on the fact, not because he's Shedeur, but because he's Deion's son. Okay? That's the thing, okay? Because I'm as critical of Shedeur as anybody. That's why I said I know about the Shedeurians. They don't like when we talk bad about Shedeur. But when Shedeur hold the ball too long, when Shedeur is rolling out backwards, yeah, we're going to talk about it. The two picks today were terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they sure
The
were.
2 interceptions today were terrible. Those were absolutely on him, okay? But to answer your question, yes, you have to put some pieces around him for him to be successful. Now, when he was at Colorado, his offensive line was just as trash as this one. However, he had quality receivers at Colorado to throw to. Okay? So you give him someone other than Harold Fannin Jr. that he can throw the ball to, or Isaiah Bond, who just runs a 9 route. You get him some weapons. I think Shedeur can be very good. I'm not saying he's going to be that franchise quarterback. And you also have to think like this, especially from us, Jamal. Jamal, look at all the quarterbacks that the Browns have had.
Yeah.
I think L Train did this some time ago.
43 and counting.
33 quarterbacks.
That's a lot of quarterbacks.
Since 1999.
Right.
33.
Right.
So I'm not saying that, you said we pro Shedeur. I ain't got no problem with that to an extent. I don't think I'm pro Shedeur. I think I'm pro Cleveland Browns. And I want to see the quarterback position be successful.
Sure do.
Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And Jamal, I'm old enough to remember before your time, Brian Sipe, okay? And Bernie Kosar. I'm old enough to remember those guys, okay? And then a few, beyond that, okay? Again, I've been rooting for the Browns, since the late 70s, mid 80s in high school and beyond. So we want to see this thing win, man. We do.
Now, if you give him an opportunity next year with a full training camp with the ones, you get him the weapons that he needs, and he flames out,
there you go.
I'm going to move on to the next guy.
Sure am.
Okay?
Sure am.
That's just the way it is. I'm going to move on to the next guy. But Shedeur Sanders has shown glimpses of being a very good quarterback. He's shown it. I just think he has not been properly coached at the pro level. I just feel that way. So you bring in a Brian Flores, or you bring in one of these offensive-minded coaches.
Byron Leftwich.
You bring in Byron Leftwich, Eric Bieniemy. You bring in one of these guys that's going to take that young man, sit him down, and going to show him the quarterback position. And then you put the weapons around him. You put an offensive line in front of him that's going to give him time when Quinshon Judkins comes back. I think Shedeur Sanders will be up there in the AFC as one of the top tier quarterbacks. I think he has the ability.
Yeah, when you look at Shedeur Sanders, man, this is why I think we've got to get to the point where we can have some of these guys call in on the show so we can actually ask questions. Because the one thing that I would ask Jamal from Euclid is, when do you think the plan should stop for Shedeur? Like, when is the cutoff point? Like, when I look at Shedeur, there are a lot of intangible things that I see in the young man that I really like. This is not about him being Deion's son. I just like the fact that he seems to be a pretty resilient young man. Whether that'll pan out in terms of him being a franchise quarterback, I don't know.
Time
But
to
I look
tell.
at all the stuff that he's been through since he has stepped foot into the college ranks. Like, you're talking about a supposed fifth-round pick, Jamal, that is playing pretty well, playing better than our third-round pick that we had. You can say that. He hasn't had the teaching or the coaching that maybe some of the other quarterbacks in the quarterback room has had, but yet he's still productive when he steps out there on the floor. He's been throwing the trainers. He's been throwing the garbage cans. He's coming out there. I mean, when you look at all the stuff that he's been through, in my mind, where he is as a player, the level that he's playing at, like, he shouldn't be there, in my opinion, because I feel
Right.
like everything has been against him. It's like
Stacked
having
against them.
stacked against him. It's like you're having two cement blocks tied to his ankle and you throw him in the water and he's still trying to tread water. He's still trying to tread water. And I do think it's interesting that all of the Three the Hard Way Nation people out there listen to the same content. We don't change our content. We have a spattering of the audience that feels like we're critical of Shedeur, and then we have people that feel like we're pro Shedeur. But that's just the beauty of our show. And I agree with Hot Rod, man. It's like we're not pro Shedeur, but we're pro Cleveland Brown. And the captain has said it since day one. He's not a Shedeur guy. He's not a Dylan Gabriel guy. He's just a guy, whoever the best quarterback is, that's who he wants under center. And I totally agree with that. Tony from Parma says, hey, fellas, I watch the show all the time. Great show. But you guys always makes it seem like the Cleveland Browns are a couple of moves away from being a good team. I don't think they're really close. Comments on that?
Let Rod take that. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, well, great question, Tony.
Yeah, it is.
But if was a fifth, we all be drunk.
Be
If
drunk,
my
sure
mom
would.
had a
Sure
mustache, she'd be my dad.
Yeah.
Look here.
Right.
I want you to understand something. With competent front office, I think this team can be turned around fairly quickly. You look at the rookies that are contributing, okay? And if we can hit in terms of the offensive line, in terms of going and getting Carnell Tate from the Ohio State University, which would move Jerry Jeudy to that number
Agreed.
2 or possibly number 3. You already have a potential all-pro at tight end, okay, with Harold Fannin Jr., who becomes a mismatch if you put him outside and have a linebacker try to cover him. If you have a competent offensive line, which, just like I said, if you take Wyatt Teller, move him over to left guard because Batonio's going to retire. You take Luke Whippler, leave him at center, and now you're just looking for 2 tackles, which you already have Big Thanos. He'll be coming back, but we don't know if he's going to be healthy. But you can go into the draft, get you some serviceable tackles and a right guard. You have just rebuilt your offense through the draft, through this draft. You don't have to touch the defense. We're not talking about touching the defense because MJ Emerson is returning after Achilles tendon injury. And then you have the young man Campbell, who we traded for, who's very good on the outside. And you got the Warden, who's going to be back there. Okay.
And JOK may be back too.
Right.
That's right.
JOK may return. We're hoping that JOK returns. So, Tony, I know you may not think that, but if we have competent people in the front office to make those moves, I believe that the Browns can be a contender next year. Did I say they're going to win the AFC North? No, I didn't say that. Did I say they're going to the Super Bowl? No, I didn't say that. But they can be competitive. That's why I said this is a soft rebuild. But thank you for the question, Tony. Appreciate you listening.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Tony. We appreciate all the questions around here, man. We appreciate all the questions. I don't think we've ever implied that, the Cleveland Browns are a couple of moves away. Obviously, if you listen to the first segment of the show, we talked about various moves that the Browns can make. I think the team, the ultimate goal, fellas, is a Super Bowl. And I think this franchise is a long ways away from that, but I don't think it's as far away as everybody says it is. I think if we make a couple of smart moves and we get better coaching in there and our quarterback position pans out. I mean, this is the NFL. This is really the only league that's out there where parity from year to year comes into play.
Right.
Teams that are bad. I mean, look at the Carolina Panthers.
Exactly.
I mean,
and I remember saying that in the preseason, what team may come, may surprise us this year. I said them and, of course, the Washington Commanders, who they're struggling. But I knew something about Carolina. I knew,
Yep.
Mhm.
This is a
Felt
league
it.
of parity, a couple of smart moves, a couple of smart free agents, some good draft picks, some smart coaching. This thing can flip on its head. So I do believe we're a pretty good amount of time away from a Super Bowl win. But
Yeah.
but honestly, I don't think it's as far as a lot of people say. Monica from Shaker Heights, she says, why do Browns fans have to explain the team every year instead of celebrating the team every year? So I guess what she's saying is why all the analysis of the team every year and we can't get to the promised land and celebrate the team. Give me your thoughts, fellas.
Oh boy. Cause Monica, we continue to go through, okay? Last season, what was the last time we had a pretty good season? That was 2023, right? Wasn't that 2023?
Yeah, that was the Joe
Yeah.
Flacco year.
Yeah. And then things unfortunately have fallen off. Again, like I say, I've been rooting for this team since the 70s. And, when we left and went to Baltimore, when that team left and became the Ravens, it's been a struggle ever since, when we came back, okay? Because, again, I remember, the days of, Brian Sipe, and even before him, Mike Phipps, and then later Bernie Kosar, okay? I remember the heydays where we were just always knocking on the door, okay? We were a AFC, premier team year in and year out. So we remember when it was good. Unfortunately, that move to Baltimore, when Art Modell sold the team, it's just been a struggle, okay? And we old heads and our dads are gone. Lionel's dad's gone, mine's gone. And,
Mine,
Rod, yeah. And
Yeah.
we remember when we were little boys rooting in front of the black and white TV when we had 3, 5, and 8,
Yeah.
ABC, NBC, and CBS, and Channel 43 and Channel 61. So we remember
Sure.
when it was
There it
good. Yeah,
is.
we remember when it was good. So that's the best way I can answer the question. We want to get back to those days. I remember when I used to deliver the plain dealer, pull in my little wagon early in the morning. As I'm delivering the paper, I'm looking through the sports section and kind of reading under the street lights as I'm delivering the paper. So we remember when it was good. We do.
So Monica, I'm gonna answer the question simply like this. I don't celebrate mediocrity.
There you
Never
go.
have.
There you go.
I'm not gonna celebrate mediocre sports. I don't Cleveland sports. I'm not gonna
Right.
do that.
Right.
The object every year is to win the Super
win.
Bowl.
To win.
That's the object, is to get to the Super Bowl. Anything short of that, to me, is a lost season. Okay? Red Right 88,
Right. Against the
lost
Raiders.
season.
Yep.
The drive, lost season. The
The
kick,
fumble.
lost season. The fumble, lost season. Those are not, and I know there are a lot of Browns fans. Oh, yeah, it was a great year. No, for me, it stunk. And since 99, this team has not been that good. Okay, so yes, I'm going to talk about them until they start winning consistently, like the Kansas City Chiefs, like the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, when they start winning consistently like that, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, when they're winning like that consistently, I can celebrate them. Listen, when Bernie Kosar in 85 and 86 was under center and Lindy Infante was the offensive coordinator, I was celebrating them because they was bludgeoning people. Bernie was throwing for 450, 500 yards a game. That's what he was doing. But since then, we haven't been at that level. And Bernie Kosar is not going to walk through the door.
Right.
Paul McDonald is not going to walk through the door. Gary Danielson is not going to walk through the door. Gerald the Ice Cube McNeil is not going to walk through the door. So my thing is, Monica, I'm not going to celebrate mediocrity. And if all of our teams are winning like that, what else do we have to talk about? Honestly. So I'm just saying, and once again, it's a great question, but I don't celebrate mediocrity. I don't.
And neither does Monica, being a Red Raiders fan in Shaker Heights. Isn't that their high school? The Red Raiders. Yeah, she don't celebrate mediocrity either. Monica, you didn't think I knew that, the Red Raiders. Oh, yeah.
Monica probably smiling right now.
Shaker Heights.
Yeah, Shaker Heights. Yeah,
Red
you know, talking to 3 Warrensville boys, Shaker Heights. We ain't going to get into that, you know.
Exactly.
But, yeah, okay. Thanks, Monica. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, sis.
Yep. Chad from North Park, Illinois. He's got a Cavs question. He says, hey, fellas, love the show. Got a Cavs question here. I'm a transplanted Cavs fan. Has this core hit its ceiling, or is the best still coming for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
No, they haven't hit their ceiling. I remember last year, again, you know, we were bludgeoning teams. Meanwhile, the Indiana Pacers were struggling. See how that turned out, okay? It's still early. We got a few injuries. The Cavs aren't shooting well. They're not shooting well. Also, too, they're not playing defense. You know, I don't know what's going on, but it's still early. Now, I'm going to be watching them on Christmas Day against the Knicks, but I'm going to be watching them out of the corner of my eye, okay? Because I hope we don't get, like Rob Parker said, I hope we don't get blowed out on national TV in front of everyone. But it's still early. We got a few, you know, injuries here and there. You know, the coach is still, you know, working with the lineup, seeing who fits with who plays well with who. He's still, you know, practicing in games. The Cavaliers are just one game above 500, but it's, you know, it's still early. So give them time. Give us time.
Yep.
For me, I've been watching the Cavaliers for a minute, and I've said this openly, is that I believe that Kenny Atkinson is practicing during the regular season. And what I mean by that is this: he hasn't had a starting lineup of Mobley and Donovan and Darius and Jarrett. Max Strus is still on the shelf. Okay. Yep. You got Larry Nance Jr. on the shelf. You know what I mean? You got players who are on the shelf. Sam Merrill is on the shelf. You got guys that are on the shelf. And so what I'm saying is that, yes, do they frustrate me? Yes. Watching them with their lack of defense, watching them where Donovan Mitchell has to go supernova, you know, for them to even be in the game, and just their lack of attentiveness on defense is the real frustrating part. However, I'm looking past that, and I'm looking at the invaluable experience that a Jalen Tyson is getting, that a Tyrese Proctor is getting, that a Luke Travers is getting, you know what I mean, that a Bryant is getting. You know, these guys coming to the Naquan Tomlin, these guys are getting invaluable experience. And what's going to end up happening is when everybody is healthy, I said this in the beginning of the season, the Cavaliers, when they are healthy, are deep. They're going to be a deep basketball team.
Agreed.
Okay?
Yep.
They're going to be a really deep basketball team. And so I'm just saying, be patient. I think they're going to make a run right before the All-Star break or right after the All-Star break. I think the Cavaliers are going to make a run. We just got to be patient. I am not blaming Kenny Atkinson. He is the mad puppet master. He's pulling the strings right now. And the only thing that I have said that I have a problem with is everyone's expectation of Evan Mobley is too high.
Yeah.
I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Everybody is looking for him to turn into the next coming of Chris Bosh or Giannis Antetokounmpo or Kevin Garnett or Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
he does not have the mentality for that, okay? So stop trying to push something on this young man that this young man cannot fulfill. Just let him be the defensive player of the year. Let him get, I think 18 and 8, 18 and 9 is actually his ceiling. I think that's all you're going to get out of him. I do believe that you got to stop playing him and Jared Allen on the floor together. I think Evan Mobley is a legitimate 5. I think he thinks he's a 4, but he's actually a 5. So just be patient, stay patient. I think they're going to turn this thing around. I believe in Kenny.
Raymond from Cleveland asks, he doesn't like the 2 small guard lineup. Is this sustainable in the playoffs? We've seen it for a couple of years now, and it hasn't worked out.
No,
Small
it
guard
definitely,
lineup.
yeah, it definitely is because they can't play defense. And you look at the guards, look at Boston's guards and, the Heat's guards and, the teams that we'll be going up against, the Knicks. No, it won't work. It's not sustainable. It isn't. Especially when it comes to playing defense and, getting up and down the floor. No, it's not sustainable.
The unfortunate side of it is you have Darius Garland on a Supermax contract. So there's really not much you can do in terms of moving DG. But I think that's why you have Alonzo Ball that came in. That's why you have a Craig Porter Jr. who is there. So when DG becomes DG, then you can now implement someone else in there. I just wish that Lonzo Ball, who right now can't shoot his way out of a wet paper bag, okay, if Lonzo Ball could be consistent from the outside, he's 6'6". He passes willingly, he rebounds willingly, he pushes the pace willingly. But that's where you miss Ty Jerome, is because Ty Jerome could hit an open shot.
Right.
Lonzo Ball, when he shoots, I get a backache.
I cringe.
I get a backache when this guy shoots. Okay, he's got to get better from the outside. I said this last season. Is I felt that Darius Garland him and Jared Allen should be coming off the bench. And the reason I said that was when you go to second units, there's not a second unit in the NBA that could deal with Jared Allen and Darius Garland. Not one. And so I'm just like, you don't have to go with this core 4. You can break them up, put ancillary pieces like a Jalen Tyson, like a Naquan Tomlin. You can do things like that and put them ancillary pieces out there. But now you got Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley on the first unit. Now you got Darius Garland and Jared Allen coming in the second unit and putting them ancillary pieces around. Now you're going to make a run. That's just my opinion.
Great assessment, man. Great assessment. All the way from Ethiopia. I hope I'm pronouncing this right.
Okay.
Wow.
Abasi? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Obasi asks, he wants to talk a little bit of college football. What do you guys think about the college football playoffs after the first weekend?
Well, let me start off. I tell you what, Oklahoma, thought they had it in the bag, and Alabama said, whoa, hold up, And again, like I said early on, Alabama was the only team going forward that I was concerned about because they just throw the ball so well, okay? They have a passing attack that is out of this world. I don't think there was no upsets yesterday. I was glad to see James Madison, give Oregon a run, but, Oregon was just a little too much. But I was glad for the little team from right here in Virginia, put up a fight. But getting back to, Alabama and Oklahoma, that game, hey, Alabama is here. Indiana, you got your hands full going forward, okay?
Yep.
You got your hands full going forward in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. But at the end of the day, I still see our Buckeyes winning it all. I do. The Buckeyes are going to win it all. We're going to be the back-to-back national champions. So that's my little small take on it right there. That's my take. Go ahead, Rod.
So, I when it came to the college football playoff, they have been entertaining games. I will not say that they have not been entertaining, but now we get into the nitty gritty. So you got Indiana going against Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Good luck, Indiana. You guys won the Big Ten championship.
That's
That's
right.
what you get when you
There
win
you
the
go.
Big Ten championship.
There you
I'm
go.
with
You
it.
get Alabama.
You
Good
get
job.
Alabama.
You got number 2 Ohio State versus Miami. Now, Miami is not a slouch. I do
No, they're
believe
not.
the Buckeyes will beat them.
We
But
will.
Miami, we're watching Miami play A&M. Miami did a fabulous job. Carson Beck, he's also on that quarterback scale that everybody want to look at. So, and it just takes me back to the last time Ohio State and Miami played for the national championship. By the way, Ohio State won. I'm just going to say that. Then you got Georgia versus Ole Miss. That,
It's gonna be a
believe
good
it or
one.
not,
It's going to be a
is
good
going
one.
to be a good one.
Sure is.
Okay? Because
gonna be
I
a
watched
dogfight.
Ole Miss Ole Miss, listen, they don't miss their coach. They're all right.
Right.
And then you
'Cause
got
they kept
Texas
the offensive
Tech.
coordinator. They kept the offensive
Sure did.
coordinator. Yep.
Sure did. And then you have Texas Tech versus Oregon. I like Texas Tech, but Oregon has been sleepy under there. But these are going to be some good games next week. These were some great games this week. Like I said, Oklahoma blew a 17-point lead.
They blew it.
had Alabama on the ropes.
They sure did.
And then
Sure
Alabama came back and said, wait a minute, hold up. We're Alabama. And that's exactly what they did. So I'm looking forward to next week. I am.
Yeah, great question, Abasi. Listen, man, I think the college football playoffs were fantastic this weekend. I think in regards to the committee that put the brackets together, I think they proved that they were right. Alabama won their game. People thought Alabama shouldn't be in there. Miami won their game in a hostile environment. I don't know if you guys watched the walkout from Texas A&M on that stadium was electric.
It was.
And
It was
it
rocking.
was
It
electric.
was.
And for Miami to come in there and stare
Yeah.
that in the face
Yeah.
and win that game didn't
Says
get
a
off
lot.
to the best start, fellas. They didn't get off
Right.
to the best start.
No, they
But
did
their
not.
defense, their defense brought it.
Mhm.
And, I think defensively, Ohio State has their work cut out for them, but Ohio State has a great defense as well.
Sure
I'm with
does.
Hot Rod. I'm with T.
Mhm.
I think the Buckeyes win that game by
Yeah.
double digits, but it's going to be a tough game, man. Miami's going to bring it. Miami's going to bring
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely.
Here's my thing about building this thing the right way. I think the NCAA March Madness basketball, like they have figured it out, man. That field of 64, now it's what, field of 68 or whatever it is.
Yes, I think
You got all those
so.
playing. Yeah, there is nothing bigger than NCAA basketball when it comes to college sports. College football, in my opinion, fellas, they have a chance. They've expanded the playoffs. They have a chance to make this thing really good. I have a problem, and this is just me. I have a problem with some of these schools like Tulane getting in when you have teams like Notre Dame out there. Like, if you were to field this bracket with some of the best teams, and I understand why these teams are getting in. Like, I'm not super upset about it. I'm not opposed to it. But can you imagine a bracket of 12 of legit teams that really could play and give each other a game? I didn't like watching those blowouts yesterday. I understand why those teams are in there. But I think the football committee has a chance to make this thing really, really big if they do it the right way and adjust how they put teams in these brackets. You guys agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, well, L Train, as I'm listening to you, Spencer Tillman, I don't know if y'all know who he is.
I know who he
And
is.
he's
yeah.
big into college sports. And I listened to him this week, talk about how, what works and what doesn't work and what he would do to improve. If you get a chance, just pull him up and listen.
Okay.
Now, with Notre Dame, again, I joked them last week because they didn't get in. Maybe they don't need to play in the ACC. Maybe they need to come into another conference,
Yep.
Because again, I mean, they only had a couple of signature wins. But again, playing in that weak, ACC, which is a basketball, conference, maybe they need to, take a look at that because again, it's all about who you go up against and what those teams did, But again, I'm not as in depth with the way the college system works, like you guys are. But like I said, I was listening to Spencer Tillman this week, and man, he makes a lot of sense about, what could make it better and what could improve it, Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the underdog. I absolutely enjoy seeing the underdog, be successful. But when I look at Tulane, I just said they were outmatched.
Right.
And, you have to look at, of course, the strength of schedule, things of that nature. Now, did I want to see Notre Dame in that bracket? No, I'm sick of Notre Dame. They, just like you said, they're in the ACC. There's only so many times you're going to beat up on North Carolina, and that's not going to qualify you.
Yeah, with old Bill Belichick.
That's not
Bill.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, Bill.
But I do want to see the best teams in the country play one another. And I think for what we have coming up next week, I think the committee
gonna
guys
see
have
it.
gotten it.
Yeah,
I
you're going
think
to see it.
they got it right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Good point.
and so Yeah, we looked at the first round and the first. Listen, it's panning itself out. We thought Oklahoma was a good team. Alabama said no, they're not.
No, they're not.
You know what I mean? So that's what you get. But you also get the possibility of a Cinderella coming through and just coming, which I think right now, believe it or not, is Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That team I'm watching on the backside. I think it's Ole Miss. It could be that Cinderella team. But to answer your question, El, yeah, I think some things can be tweaked, but I think the most part they got it. You know, plus Michigan's not in it, so I really think they got it. Yeah, pow pow. I told you, got you. That's for my brother. Yeah, that's why you
Where's
sitting
Michigan?
at home.
Put out
Yeah,
an
that's
APB on Michigan.
APB.
Where's Michigan?
Out for
Where's
Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Where you at, Michigan?
Yeah, where y'all at?
Where you
yeah,
at?
where y'all at? Watch all these
Where you at,
Michigan
Michigan?
people gonna come.
That's right.
Yeah.
APB.
We will keep track on the college football playoffs, man. It's going to be box office. But hey, fellas, I got a mystery Brown of
I won
the week.
last week. I won
He
last week,
won
7-4.
week, closing that gap. Hot
Reggie
Rod's getting a little
Langhorn.
nervous.
Reggie Langhorn.
Getting a little nervous. I got another mystery Brown for the week, fellas. All right, so I'm gonna
All
start
right.
with
Think
clues.
it was a fix. It was a fix. Fix.
All right,
Hands
Here-
up.
here
Get
we
off
go,
your cell
fellas.
phone, Rod.
Mystery Brown of the week. Clue number 1. I was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the mid-2000s. Drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the mid-2000s. I entered the league with huge expectations. Entered the league with huge expectations. My last name already meant something in football history. Last name meant something. I was considered a matchup nightmare before I ever played a snap for the Cleveland Browns. Browns fans were divided on me almost immediately. Wow, nothing yet? Okay. Next clue. I played on the Browns teams searching for an offensive identity. I was part of a draft class that fans still debate today.
Wasn't a Kirby, was it? Somebody last name Kirby, was it? Oh.
I was often injured early in my career.
Okay, yeah, the tight end that said I'm a soldier. Yeah, the tight. Oh man, yeah, they hurt herself on the motorcycle. What's his name, man?
Kellen Winslow.
goodness.
No, not Winslow Jr.
Kellen Winslow Jr. Kellen Winslow
Kellen
Jr.
Winslow Jr.
I got it because I got Kellen Winslow. I got it, Rod. I got it. 2 in a row. Yeah, Winslow
wait,
Jr.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
hold on.
because I had
we
I
gotta
had
go
the
back to the film on that. I
yeah,
called
yeah,
it
no,
out.
no flag on
I
this one.
called out
I had it.
Kellen Winslow
No,
Jr.
but
You said
I said the guy that rode a motorcycle and
I
he's a
was
tight
like
end.
Kellen
No,
Winslow
I
Jr.
got it. We got to look on the camera for that one.
I'm gonna
I
need a
got
review
it.
for that one,
I
L Train.
got it. We're 7-5. 7-5.
I'm gonna need a review.
7-5.
Listen, we'll go back to the film. And here's what I want. 3 to Hardway Nation. This is one of your favorite segments, is the Mystery Browns, because we got a lot of people out there that try to guess these things too while they're watching our show. I get a lot of emails about them. Who won that one? The Cap?
The cat.
Or was it the influencer Hot Rod? Put your
Ooh, the
thoughts in the
influencer.
comments, man.
Ooh.
Put your thoughts in the comments, man.
Everybody know that I'm gonna win this one. I'm gonna win this one. I'm
Vote
gonna
for
win
the
this
Cap.
one. Come
With-
on.
Vote for the
Low.
cat.
The
Come
second.
on.
That was a good
Come
one, L
on.
Train. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Kellen
All right.
Winslow.
The captain bailed me out last week with start 1, bench 1, cut 1, erase 1. I had a busy week, so I couldn't prepare. I got to start 1, bench 1, cut 1, erase 1 for this week. I grew up watching a lot of TV, as most people did. There are some shows that I like. So this is about African American TV shows.
Mm,
All right.
okay.
Start one, bench one, cut one, erase one. Number one is The Cosby Show. The Cosby Show. I remember on Thursdays, people running in to try to catch The Cosby Show rather than play outside. That's how significant The Cosby Show was. Okay, so we got The Cosby Show. My next show is Martin. Martin. I don't think I've ever watched a Martin show and didn't crack up at
Mhm.
some point during an episode. So we got The Cosby Show, we got Martin. The next one, Sanford and Son.
Oh,
Sanford and Son. Me and my guy in high school, Cornell Bay. I don't know if you remember Cornell, Hot Rod, but me and Cornell used to be on the phone
Shout out to
watching-
Cornell.
watching Sanford and Son episodes together. And last but not least, fellas, Good Times. With JJ, James, Florida, Thelma, Bookman, Walona. So you got Cosby's, you got Martin, you got Sanford and Son, and you got Good Times. Good luck trying to erase something off that list.
I know, man. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go first. Hands down, and I'm a couple years older than you guys, but hands down, Sanford and Son, Fred Lamont. Sanford and Son. Fred was something else. I remember the courtroom scene where he told the judge, why you don't arrest any, white people. He said, look, all these, you know what, in here, it's enough of them to
Yeah.
start a Tarzan
Make a
movie.
Tarzan movie.
A Tarzan movie. Sanford and Son, definitely start. I'm going to bench The Cosby Show, okay? And despite everything Bill Cosby's been through, again, I got a piece of the action poster up in here in my room. I love Bill Cosby. I love Dr. Cosby, okay? Yeah, all of us got flaws. He messed up. Yeah, he really did. But The Cosby Show, showed us positive, on a positive front. He was was a doctor. I mean, an educated family. All the kids did well. Theo, all of them. So Cosby Show, I'm going to bench. This was tough. I'm going to cut Good Times, okay? I'm just going to cut them. James Evans, hands down, no nonsense dad, in the projects, had good morals, dignity, upstanding, hardworking man. Definitely. Good Times I would cut. And I'll just have to erase Martin, okay? Although Martin was great too. Martin was great. I even loved him as a stand-up comedian before he went into TV, okay? Straight out of Washington, D.C. That's where Martin is from, Washington, D.C. And yeah, so I'm going to erase him. So I'll start Sanford and Son, bench The Cosby Show, cut Good Times, and erase Martin.
All right.
I will
What do you
admit
got, Hot Rod?
this was
This is
a
a tough
one.
one.
This
Real
was
tough.
a tough one. Tough. So I'm going to start Sanford and Son. I still watch Sanford
Yeah,
and
me
Son.
too.
Okay. I will bench Cosby. All right. Now here's where the controversy goes in.
Do it, Rod.
So I'm gonna start Sanford and Son. I'm gonna bench Cosby. Number 3, is gonna be Martin.
Going there.
Yeah,
I
it's
knew
gonna
it.
be Martin,
Tough.
and
Yeah.
it's hard, but I'm gonna erase Good Times.
Oh, Good Times.
it's
erase
hard.
Good Times.
It's hard.
Wow.
And to give you my
James
quick
Evans.
explanation is because Martin, there were so many iconic characters that Martin played. It
True.
wasn't just
Oh, yeah.
Martin. You
He's
talking
talented.
about Shanae. You
Hmm.
talking about Black Belt Jones.
Yeah.
It was so many
Yeah.
different characters that Martin Lawrence played that made you like, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, from the socioeconomic side of it, Good Times is going to always be number 1 for me.
Oh, yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
Yeah.
them being in the
Yeah.
projects and them living
yeah.
in the projects.
Mhm.
Cosby made going to college cool.
Sure
That's
did.
where a different world
Sure did.
came off of it.
Yeah.
It made going to a historical black college cool. You know what I'm saying? And then of course Sanford and Son was just my goodness, man. It was an iconic TV show. I did not want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Good Times. Yeah, I had to do Good Times.
And it's some stuff that Fred said in Sanford Son that are still relevant today, man, that are very relevant. Yeah.
And it's stuff
Very
that
relevant.
he said back then, just like what you said in the courtroom. That
Yeah,
is
exactly.
taboo today.
Exactly.
Red Fox
exactly.
could not say that on TV today.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It'll be all over with.
Yep.
all right, what you got, L?
Oh man, this was tough for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was tough for me, but I would start, even though I'm very old school when it comes to shows, I would start the Cosby Show.
Okay.
I think the Cosby Show crossed a lot of lines. It brought in everybody watched the Cosby Show. It was epic, and it's one of the most substantial shows ever created on TV in terms of black families and the black community. Number 2 is Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son, another iconic show. Red Fox and I forget Lamont's real name.
Damon Wilson.
Damon
Damon Wilson. Yep.
Damon Wilson. Great chemistry. One of my favorite episodes was when Lamont bought a bunch of coffins and Fred refused to stand up.
Yeah.
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 Fred
Yeah.
refused
He
to
slept
stand
out the
out.
pickup truck.
Oh,
And
man,
Lamont
that
joined
was
him out there. Lamont ain't sleeping there either.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hilarious,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Here's where it got tough. I'm with High Rod. Here's where it got tough between Good Times and Martin. I had to go Good Times, man. I
Yeah.
had to go
Yeah,
Good
I
Times.
understand.
James Evans, Florida. It was a mix of comedy, but they also had drama. Like
Lot
when
of
Janet
seriousness.
Jackson first came on the show with Penny,
Yeah.
had the abusive mother.
Yeah.
Just a great mix of comedy and drama in
Yeah.
there, man.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot of lessons growing up, made me appreciate some of the things that I had growing up. And then Martin, I'm with High Rod, man. Martin was more of a high school thing for me. It was one of those things you watched at night, came to high school and talked about the episodes the next day. I still watch Martin when it's on today if I get a chance to watch it. Again, I don't think there was ever an episode where Martin didn't make me laugh. One of my favorite
Yeah. Right.
episodes was
Right.
when he fought Thomas the Hitman Hearns.
And how he looked afterwards. Remember how he looked afterwards?
That
how he
actually
looked
was my
afterwards, yeah.
all-time
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, how he
Yeah.
looked afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was hilarious, man.
He had a line in that show. He said, "Yeah, you talk about Hitman. I talk
Yeah.
to Sugar. He said you did not get hit, man. Just some of the lines that he came across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Epic show. But that was a tough one. That's my start one,
That was a
bench
good
one,
one.
cut one.
That was a good
Cosby,
one.
Sanford and Son,
good. That's good.
Good Times, Martin. Start one, bench one, cut one, erase one. I hate to erase Martin, but
Oh, yeah.
I just had to. All right, fellas, it's time for your parting shots. What do you got?
I'm gonna take a shot at the Vanderbilt quarterback, and I hopefully I don't butcher his name. Diego Pavia,
Yep.
the young man that was the runner-up in the Heisman, went to social
Stupid.
media, young kids, and saying "F you" to all the voters and this and that and this and that. Shame on you, young man. And his coach, that was an opportunity for the coach to give him a teaching moment, and I think the coach kind of co-signed his bad behavior. So shame on you. Shame on you. Okay, now what you did, you dropped your stock going forward because some organizations may not want to mess with you. Reese Davis of ESPN, and we all know Reese is level-headed and even keel, even measured. Even Reese said, "Hey, man, I'd like to take my vote back." Okay, so hey, young man, remember emotional regulation, something I teach as a counselor. Hey, stay out of your feelings and stay off of social media because you made yourself look real bad. Now, granted, that's what these young kids do, but you want to be a professional football player, okay? That is not a good look for you or Vanderbilt University, a high academic, institution of higher learning. So shame on you for what you said, letting the whole world know that you're a sore loser, okay? So that's my parting shot.
Good one. I like it.
So I'm gonna stay in that college football vein, and my parting shot is against the committee who chose the Biletnikoff Award winner.
Oh,
I am completely, I don't understand and flabbergasted. And no disrespect to the young man at USC, but to tell me, I think that was Makai Lemon, to tell me that Makai Lemon was a better football player, receiver-wise, than Jeremiah Smith.
it's a
Right.
joke.
You got to be kidding me,
Right.
okay? And there's no knock on Mekhi Lemon. He's a great wide receiver. But when I look at the film of teams not just double teaming, but triple teaming Jeremiah Smith, when you talk to every coach in the Big Ten and they tell you when they're putting their defensive game plan together, who are we trying to stop? They don't say Julian Sain. They don't say Bo Jackson. They don't say Carnell Tate. They say Jeremiah Smith. So that, to me, just devalued the Biletnikoff Award. Fred Biletnikoff, his award symbolized the best receiver in college football. Jeremiah Smith is the best receiver in college football.
Yes, he is. Yes,
That's
he
right.
Is.
Period.
Yes, he is. And he's going to show you.
That's
He's going
right.
to show you going
And
forward.
He came on, he
He's gonna
sent out
show
a
you.
tweet, and Jeremiah Smith said, I'm going to show you. Now,
I'm
he
gonna
wasn't
show- and
like
he
that
is.
other kid talking about F the committee and
No,
all
he
that.
didn't. No, he said, I'm
He
going to show
put a
you.
tweet out and said,
I'm going to show
okay,
you.
I'm
Stand
going to
by.
show you.
There you
So
go.
to the Biletnikoff committee, that's my parting shot. Shame on you.
There you go.
It's a good one, man.
There you go.
That is a good one. My parting shot is up here in Wisconsin. There's a little high school called Oliva Strum High School, small high school. And this is a lesson for people out there. No matter what people say about you, you create your own narrative. The narrative doesn't have to be true. A young lady, Avery Glens, who I know really well, just hit her 1,000th point on Friday night as a sophomore
Wow.
at
wow.
Oliva Strum High School. Now,
Wow.
this was a young lady that got cut from a lot of teams when she was growing up. She was always picked last at open gyms. And the reason why I bring her up is her and I got in the gym years ago, and we're like, this is the amount of work that you've got to put in up at the Playmakers building here in Altoona. And so now she has become one of the best players in the state of Wisconsin. And she's got 2 more years to go, fellas. I think Avery Glens, not putting any pressure on her, she may not ever see this podcast, but I know that there are a lot of people that are affiliated with her that
You
will
need to
probably,
be parked outside her door right now, ready to sign her up to your team.
that will probably get her to listen to this. But she is going to be a bona fide superstar at the college ranks, man. She is absolutely box office, and I am proud of her accomplishment, hitting her 1,000 point as a sophomore. If you would have asked her 3 years ago, did she see herself doing this? She would have said absolutely not. But it shows you hard work and discipline plays off. So hats off to Avery. Proud
What
of you.
position does she play, L Train? Is she a 1 or a 2?
She'll be a 2 or a 3 in college, but she plays anything she wants in high school. She plays anything she wants. Avery Glens, that's my parting shot.
That's a good take. Avery, from Coach Young to you. Keep
From the
grinding.
Keep grinding.
Don't believe the press clippings. Keep
That's right.
working hard. Congratulations to you, young lady.
There you go. That's it. Keep up the good work.
Awesome story. Well, fellas, another great episode in the books. We're going to keep our eyes on the Browns, Cavs, this college football playoffs. Once our Buckeyes win the whole thing, we're going to come back on here and celebrate it. I'm
Sure.
looking forward to that, but I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas to y'all, and Merry Christmas, Happy
Yes.
Holidays, Happy
Yes.
Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, everything to everyone out there, 3 the Hard Way Nation. Be safe, be thankful, and come on back and join us next week.
That's right.
Absolute-
Be responsible out here. Enjoy
Yeah, be
yourself.
safe out there.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year,
Yeah.
all of that to all of y'all. All right.
right.
And enjoy it.
Another great show, fellas.
Yeah, fantastic holiday. Have a fantastic holiday. Another great show. Merry Christmas to everyone out
All
there.
right, y'all take
Until
care.
next time, 3 the Hard Way. We'll see you later.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.